So I was in the middle of working on the next video for this channel. We're doing an E-blade conversion on an old pump autococker that I have. But then I remembered, oh wait, I told somebody I would do another marker tour, a part two, because that video seemed to do okay. And I've actually picked up quite a few since then. I posted that video about 3 weeks after I actually filmed it. So I have more. So this one, let's get into it. In the first one, obviously, this was my Black Magic pump. There's all the CCM goodies. But I picked up this E-blade Outcast. I don't know if this is an E-blade or if this was like a War Games one, but it has Eclipse grips and an Eclipse board, and I think that's an Eclipse trigger. So I keep calling it an E-blade, but unfortunately this body is drilled for eyes, but I thought a mid-block one would be way cooler. And the mid-block also goes along with something else I picked up, which is this Empire Resurrection that I recently acquired. I played with it last weekend. I love it. This is currently my favorite gun. Yeah, as an Inception reg, I think everything else is stock. Has the full barrel kit and everything. It rips, but to me, right, we could have a gloss black and matte black mech and a gloss black and matte black E-blade. Especially with this already being cut and drilled for eyes, it just makes sense. And I have a couple others on the way. I think I actually have 6 others on the way. We'll see them when they get here. But for now, this is the other stuff we picked up. So the Shocker is still here. That's for sale. The Trilogy Pro is also for sale. This was my other recent acquisition. This is a Dye M3 Plus. Same thing, has the full barrel kit. I'm waiting on an eye pipe for it. I played with this a little bit last weekend. I like it, but it's for sale. I like this a lot more than my Ripper, and I got a good deal on this. This is another one for the cheap marker of the week. So this is probably one of the least exciting pickups I have. This is a Dye Proto Rail. I think this is the successor to the PMR. I only picked this up because I had the day off on Monday, and I found it on Marketplace for $20. And it was about 20 minutes away. I could not say no to that. The eyes don't work, but it does. I shot it in the backyard. It's cool. I threw it right on eBay. It is super light. I think this is a very cool starter gun, and I think that is the market that it's targeted towards. And I have a video dropping about this, I think, Monday. I did a comparison to another marker I picked up that we'll talk about now. And that would be this Proto PM5. So I've mentioned it a couple times. I think the first episode drops tomorrow, but I started a series called Cheap Gun of the Week. This was one of them. I picked this up along with an OG Invert Mini, which is right here. I picked up both of them for a total of $200 plus a couple other random things that I am working on getting rid of. This actually worked. Both of them actually worked right out of the box. This had a small macro line leak, and I could probably fix that if I really wanted to. But I threw it right on eBay. I have no interest in playing with this. But the comparison of this to the Proto Rail was kind of interesting because you can actually see the difference in the bolt and engine and everything. And I also compared it to the M3 Plus. So that video should be dropping December 1st. So go watch that if you're interested. And this is like I said, this is the original Invert Mini. My brother has one just like it, except his is burnt orange. It actually worked. I aired it up. I powered it up. It looks like the front grip is damaged, and it shot a loader through it. Thought that was cool. This is probably 20 years old almost, much like that PM5. But yeah, that's what these were. And like I said, very affordable. I don't know if I'm going to make a video about this one or not. I guess I should because it gives me more content, but it's an OG Invert Mini, and as far as I know, there are not many differences between this and the GS, but I could be wrong. I had 2 mini GSs that I picked up, but I quickly flipped them, and I didn't really do much with them. The Ego 8 that I had some issues that I thought I had fixed, but I was wrong. I aired this thing up to make a shooting video with it, because I was running low on shorts, and it didn't really want to cycle. It had been doing that before. I cleaned the whole thing. I took everything apart, lubed it up, reset the regulators, and it ripped. I thought it was set. Apparently not. The only thing I didn't rebuild was this QEV block, and I'm having a hard time finding O-rings for these QEV valves. that basically they go within this whole thing. They're very swollen. Like I had to pull them out with pliers to get them out of the block. No one seems to have O-rings for it. I bought a rebuild kit and it did not include these O-rings. I'm going to take them off and see if I can't find them somewhere else, you know, not paintball specific. At the end of the day, like they had to get this O-ring from somewhere. If that doesn't work, from what I understand, I can pull those two seals out, those two O-rings, and I can drill and tap the body for fittings, and that replaces the QED block. Now, that being said, I don't love that idea for a variety of reasons, but I don't love it, but I've seen people do it. A couple people also said you can block this off a certain way, and it'll work, and I may explore that option a little further. But that's where we're at with that one. For other things that haven't changed, the VCOM Ripper is still here and my Vice is still here. Those two, the Vice at least is never going anywhere. The VCOM I have an offer for to possibly trade it for G6R, which I love the idea of. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm going to put this video on hold because like I said at the beginning, I have some new stuff on the way. So I picked up a Lux Ice, a DM12, a DSR Plus, an Ego 10 Vicious Edition, an E-Tech 4 AM or something. I picked up a bunch of random stuff, a Shocker AMP, pretty much anything that I saw that people were like, hey, I need money for Christmas, I bought it. They're all on their way here, and we'll do the next part of the video once that stuff arrives. So anyway, the new shipment arrived. So we got this Vicious Ego 10. This is in a little bit rougher shape than I thought, but kind of cool. A little nostalgia for me here because the Ego 10 was kind of like the last new gun I had before I stopped playing. We got this Lux Ice that I just shot outside. Shoots very nice. I like it a lot. I'm going to do some content involving this and another gun to pick. And that would be this Shocker amp, I think this is. I'm curious how similar they actually are because from what I remember, my Lux and my Shocker shot very similarly back in the day, like my original Lux. This reminds me a lot of my original Lux. And I know they're both kind of made by Smart Parts or in some relation to Smart Parts. So I do want to do a little comparison with the two of them. This is what I think is a DM9. I do kind of like this. I still have my PM5. The videos are probably going to release very slowly, but a lot of this is happening at the same time. I have quite the collection of die matrices right now. I shot this thing. It has a lot of barrel rise. I was surprised. Like I remember my DM7 and 8 shooting like absolute butter. And I had a DM6 too, I think, that also shot like butter. But that one, not quite. There is a small issue with this Shocker. This one I picked up for $250, which I think was actually a half decent deal, but I need to figure out why it's got a leak. The seller sent me a timestamp, but it worked when he sent it. Like the day before he shipped it, it shot fine. So I got to figure out what's up with that. It's leaking from somewhere in here. I might just throw O-rings on the bolt. I don't know yet. But that'll be part of the cheap gun series. This is a brand new die DSR, which again, quite the Matrix collection at the moment. I don't even know if they still call them Matrix, but that's what they used to be. This thing's kind of cool. We can do a comparison with the M3 Plus, or this is a DSR Plus, I think, actually. But yeah, we can do a little comparison there and see what's what. Ergonomically, I think the M3 is a little nicer. I prefer the trigger on the M3 for sure. I think this is the lightning bolt trigger. I don't like this at all. Not even a little bit. And then from the last batch of these orders, we got this E-Tech 3 AM. This thing's actually in pretty decent shape. I'm not a huge Planet Eclipse guy. I never have been. I don't think I ever will be. But we've got 3 of them here right now. So, yeah, this is, the E-Tech was obviously like the cheaper version back in the day. I don't know if this is like, at some point, like they didn't have the Cure Bolt. They didn't have the Zit kit, stuff like that. Let's see, what's this have? Yeah, no Cure Bolt. I don't even know if they still use the Cure Bolt. I should probably stop talking about that. But, yeah, like to me, the E-Tech stuff was pretty much the same as the PM stuff, where like the PM7 was the DM6 and like the E-Tech was like 2 generations back on the Ego because it felt like the Egos went in 2s with the big revisions. It was like 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11, 12, or whatever the increments were. And then the E-Tech was like the generation before. Like, I bet this and this are very similar. More similar than this would be anyway. And then these are the last two things we picked up. This is an ECX Intimidator with CCM feed neck and stuff. I sold this to my brother years ago. It has very few shots on it. I played with it once or twice. He played with it once or twice, but now it's mine again. ECX was our local pro shop and field when we were in like middle school and high school. So to me, having an ECX was always like kind of cool. I live right down the road from where ECX used to be. So it's always been like a big nostalgia thing for me. But this, he said, doesn't work right anymore, or he played with it. I think we played with it one day, and it gave him a bunch of goofy issues. But I'm going to go through it, tech it, make it all work nice, and go from there. Get some grips for it and stuff. I don't think gripless is cool anymore. And then this is a 2K5'd Iron Man that my brother bought on PB Nation a long time ago. Or maybe I bought it and then gave it to him, but it was always kind of rigged up. Like, it worked okay. It worked like a 2K5'd Intimidator. I don't think this one has been played with in 10 plus years. It had a bunch of issues. It's had a lot of paint go through it. I think he added this Inception on-off ASA or an Eclipse ASA, whatever that is. I think it's an Inception one. It looks like the one on the Resurrection I have. But either way, it needs to be totally gone through and figure out why it doesn't shoot. I'm going to try to get like a 360 reg or a 2-liter or something for it, just so I don't have to deal with that. That always pissed me off. Like, especially when you have a nice center exit ASA, like you need a nice clean macro line routing, like almost like a vise or something. And 2K5 frame gives you a nice kind of snatch grip, sort of. But yeah, I think that is everything for now. There may be some new stuff coming soon. I've got a couple of days off, which is usually not good, but that's the collection. There will be content coming for pretty much everything in here, including that if you look at my other channel, and that if you look at my Instagram. Yeah, that's the goods.